Hello again, guys. This is Matt. Here is our recap of our war we just had. Clan Warley. What is CWL? Anyways, faced off against OneHive, we had a very close one. I think we were 50% on our 11v10 nukes. Had to have a couple of 10s to clear all our 9s, and I think the same thing happened with OneHive. I know we had one 10v10 triple. I'm not sure if they had two, and that might have been the difference, or if they just had a higher percentage on their nukes. But it was a great war, good game to OneHive, and here is our Town Hall 11 triple. This is Jampy. He's going to come in with a Shattered here, and he's going to push into the space, and he's going to be able to get these two air defenses, an Inferno Tower, the defending CC, Archer Queen, and his Archer Queen is going to have some awesome late life. He's going to be able to push in and get out some of those Wizard Towers that are there in the core, so he gets a ton of value on that. The big thing on this funnel is he gives it enough time to develop so that his wizards are getting those exterior defenses down. So when his jump goes down, his queen has nowhere to go and other than in, and so his bowlers, queen, everything path directly into that Inferno Tower and get it down very quickly. He goes ahead and drops a poison, ready to receive the CC and for the defending Archer Queen. So the two air defenses are down, the Inferno Tower is down. He's got the value, and he still has his golems up because the CC was just a hound. So go ahead and starts his Lalo. Comes in, he's going to go this clockwise rotation, and the big push that he gets, big help from his Archer Queen here is when his Archer Queen is able to start taking out these defending Wizard Towers. And comes in with a freeze here on the Inferno Tower. Everything's wrapping around very nicely. He has this sweeper that he's battling with, but he has a couple of hastes to overcome it, and then his Archer Queen is able to step up, get this big late push I was talking about to get down those Wizard Towers. All that's left, he had a heal that I guess he was probably thinking he needed to save for this compartment here for the Wizard Towers, but with those 3-point defenses, 2 of them being Teslas, the heal ended up being very useful. He still has 2 loons he kind of uses for cleanup. They essentially get swagged, so he did an excellent job on this 10v10 hit, and I know we were really close on getting a couple more of these, and they're coming to us. So we're getting better. Our next is going to be Jampy again with his Town Hall 9 account right here. This is going to be one of those quad quake, opening up access to a whole bunch of air defenses and getting a really deep queen charge push, and he's going to have lots of minions for his funneling, and he's got these baby drags at the start to get that funnel started also. Gets a little bit lucky here. You'll see it later in this attack on his queen kill. The meta of this attack kind of relies on your mass minion and maybe a little bit of your hound kind of distracting the Archer Queen while mass minion kind of comes in and flanks her. Usually you'll see a rage on that also. But that's later in the attack. But here we go. He gets the CC pulled out. With this attack, you don't have poison for anything, so you have to be aware of the trigger radiuses of your CC, the aggro radiuses of your defending heroes, to make sure your AQ is raged up so that they can make it through. So he was hoping for his queen to path into that compartment initially, and she doesn't. So here she goes off on these storages, and I imagine about this time, this was looking a little sketchy because he still had this other air defense up here at 3 o'clock that he had to have down. Loses a healer to a Sam, which is again another one of those kind of things that happens with this attack. Can be a pretty risky attack, but a couple of you guys have been doing it for a while and are very successful with it, so who might argue? Here it comes in with a mass minion, his own hound, and then he has a CC hound. All this starts coming across, and getting through these storages over here with his minions took longer than he anticipated, I think. He still has a CC hound, though, to keep tanking this air defense, but all of his loons are going to get just crushed by this defending Archer Queen while his minions are catching up. So over here on the queen charge, he was able to finally wrap around and get that last air defense, and then he had this rage to kind of push these minions the last little bit through to overcome that sweeper and get his loons back in the attack, and his Archer Queen Gets really lucky when that BK kind of wanders off and keeps coming back and forth on her instead of locking onto her. So AQ just barely lives. She's taking those point defenses and gets this last wizard tower. So this was not pretty, but I really liked it. It was a neat attack. It worked out in the end. Not my favorite attack to watch. Gives me a little bit of anxiety, but so many guys keep rocking it and it keeps working. And we have another one later on we're going to watch also that's similar. Here is Snapshot. This was our last Town Hall 9 up. I think Cap just kind of blurted this plan out in RAR, and it absolutely wrecked. Under 2 minutes you see on this, like a minute 45. So he comes in with a stone. We know these Teslas. We know everything's here. We know it's in the CC. I don't think he wanted to rage his BK up that quick, but it doesn't really matter. Had a lot of wizards to get this funnel and then to get the secondary funneling on those exterior point defenses. So he's going to be able to get out the Archer Tower, the Tesla, and then the Archer Tower at 3 o'clock here. You watch the wizards working on it. So when everything starts to funnel in, his Archer Queen doesn't then start walking. So she deals with the CC, and then her next thing to target was defense in the core. So incredible push into this base. He's got the heal and the rage for his entire kill squad. All of his bowlers are still up. He's got all 5 of them still going, still rocking. And in planning, we were like, just in case we need to have this hound, but he essentially could have swagged this hound because his kill squad ends up working out all the way over here with plenty of health, gets down that last air defense, and all these loons now are wrapping their way around. He's just now losing his own BK. And this little 2-tile gap here enabled his Archer Queen to reach over, get that Wizard Tower, and start working on these storages. Still has her phase, has, goodness, I mean, like 8 or 9 loons. So that was a big 3-star. Here's our next hit. It's from Burke Dad. He does a neat little queen dive over here. He's got 5 healers that he's going to roll out on his queen. And then he kind of ends up rolling into a little bit of a hybrid attack with his BK, a single golem and some CC bowlers. And he brings them all together with a jump spell and pushes pretty deep into the space to take advantage of these long parallel compartments that are in the middle where the CC is. So you see him making his funnel here. Seiki is about to aggro the BK, so he's got a rage for that to get through that, and then he has these wall breakers that start going where he doesn't really want them to go, but he brought 6 wall breakers, and he just keeps dropping them, and eventually they find the compartment he was hoping for them to find. Archer Queen steps up here, gets another air defense, gets the CC coming out, so he's going to grind his way through this hound with a rage, and he starts this hybrid over here I was describing with his golem and putting down some funneling. Once that funnel starts being pretty much made, he deploys his bowlers, his BK, his queen is still charging. She starts getting low, so I think he phases her here, and then everything's going to come back together here, join up at this jump spell, push in pretty deep into the base. A couple of the bowlers went on a little bit of walk, but they got a good bit of value there because there was those little bit of a Tesla farm outside there. So BK comes in, is going to grind through that wall and reach to the enemy AQ, and now his Archer Queen and a couple bowlers are in the core, getting some high value, getting out 3rd air defense, and his Archer Queen is about to engage the 4th air defense, and his 5 healers he deployed are now down to 4. They're still going strong, and he's kind of collapsing everything in now with his cleanup, baby dragons and minions, and does a really good job on a kind of funky base, and makes pretty short work of it with his queen, and actually there's 4 healers still up at the end, so those stands are probably on the outside now to protect against a walk. Here's our next attack. It's our boy Afshin with more of his craziness that he always manages with these big queen dives. always puts out his BK to kind of help with the funnel, and he threw down 2 Valks to help out. So BK and Valks start going around the base, puts down this quad quake, opens up that compartment that will eventually get him access to all 4 air defenses and the enemy Archer Queen, but I don't think he ends up getting the enemy Archer Queen with this, because there's nothing really there for to take his queen that direction. Deals with a CC, again, has a rage for the CC, because when you have that quad quake, you don't have your poisons. BK still going around, still making, taking out a lot of trash. Those Valks are still all up, and here comes his second rage. He lost the healer there, but still going strong, and he actually has a raged up archer down here sniping that archer tower, which was pretty awesome for him. That single raged archer there got that archer tower. There's your Tesla farm, and he's going to start bringing in these baby dragons now, and gets the baby dragons onto the defending CC, even defending AQ even. Gets her taken out, starts wrapping all that around with those baby dragons in the north. Waits on his Archer Queen to beat through this wall so that she can start getting more value, start getting down more point defenses. Starts deploying some more baby dragons down there in the south. And he has a CC of 3 baby dragons also. I forgot to mention that. So that was what he was waiting on with the CC, was he had some max baby dragons in there. Everything starts collapsing in. Those baby dragons, even though they're not raged up, and even though they're sitting there getting pushed around by that sweeper, there are no SAMs in there. I guess it's, a lot of bases now have that kind of meta, looking for to stop queen walks and not necessarily to stop queen dives, or to stop these pushes with big baby dragons in them. So here's King Pink. He's doing a really cool penta here. He's going to zap 1 AD. Gets really cool. I'm not sure if this is a cleanup or if this was fresh, but he has this really cool little radius here on the defending Archer Queen, where she will come out and aggro onto his, even though there's this grounded expo. It's like this perfect amount of time for him to get through this DE storage, step up, phase, get through the cold, and then get the defending Archer Queen without a poison. So that was just about perfect. He puts down his BK here to get a little bit of value, and then he starts his penta. He's got 2 hounds coming in on the first air defense, and zapping that air defense that was in the core is going to make everything kind of rotate around really well. His loons don't do a great job with that rotation, but they stay up because there's not much, and the grounded expos, there's not much to target them. So some of these are going to split off, head south, but he's got his next kind of group of loons coming in, rages the loons to get straight to that air defense quickly, and he's still got his CC hound to come in here to tank that last air defense, and he's got these 2 groups of loons now, one coming from the south, one coming from the north, and he's still got more to deploy and just kind of collapse in on all these defenses. And that's just all she wrote. Ton of cleanup, ton of loons, really neat attack. Good war, guys. This was really close. We're getting there. Good game again to OneHive, and we'll get them next week, guys.